Guess what? We've reached the quarter mark of the season. That's right, the first 41 games are in the books. And given everything the Cardinals had to deal with this season going in, they've done pretty good. Sure, there have been some weaknesses, like defense and the bullpen, and bad decisions, like, say, keeping Ryan Franklin on the payroll. However, their hitting and their starting pitching have pretty much covered up any mistakes and have made them successful. All in all, they've had a great start. Till they went to Cincinnati. I guess we'll talk about the ownage that happened over the weekend next. To start with, yes, this is in fact my parents' basement. And no, I don't live down here. That being said, Cards get swept, dropping all 3 games to the Cincinnati Reds over the weekend. It's the first time that this has happened at the Great American Ballpark since 2007. Friday night, they blew a 4-0 lead and lost 6-5 in 10 innings. Things were going great early on. They had their opportunities and got Red starter Bronson Arroyo with 4 runs through the first 6 innings. Kyle Loesch even had a great inning, going 6 innings, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits. Both of the runs were in the 6th inning. The bullpen comes in, and it goes downhill from there. Up 5-2, Miguel Batista faces 3 batters in the 7th, gives up 2 hits and a walk before getting pulled. At this point, the Reds are now down by 1. Trevor Miller walks Joey Votto, and Fernando Salas loads the bases, but gets out of the inning without any more damage. Eduardo Sanchez blows his first save opportunity in the bottom of the 9th as he walks Edgar Renteria, who advances to second on a wild pitch, then to third on a groundout by Joey Votto. That sets up Brandon Phillips to get the game-tying hit, scoring Renteria and taking us to extras. Bottom of the 10th, Jason Mott is pitching. Ramon Hernandez doubles, but is picked off at the next at-bat. The Cardinals, they botch up the pickoff. They do get Hernandez, but Chris Heisey, the batter, he ends up at second base. Drew Stubbs flies out for the second out. And Mott was within a strike on each of the at-bats to Edgar Renteria and Joey Votto. Instead, he walks Renteria, and Joey Votto comes through with the game-winning hit. Doesn't get better on Saturday afternoon, as they lose 7-3. Kyle McClellan, he's done in with 3 solo home runs in this one. Brandon Phillips in the 2nd, followed by a pair by Ramon Hernandez in the 3rd and again in the 5th inning. I guess somebody out there was eating their Lunchables. Phillips also gets another RBI in this inning to bring the Reds to a 4-0 lead. Ryan Franklin comes in the 7th, and we all know what happens from here.
Hey, you're all washed up. Would you please shut up? Take a walk away.
He gives up another 3 runs in the 2 innings pitched, and that brings his earned run average to 9.88. As for our offense, there really wasn't much to it. John Jay, however, did manage to hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. That was the only bright spot for the Cards in this game. And when he's not in a quarter kicking and screaming, Johnny Cueto goes 7 2/3 innings. He gives up 3 runs on only 3 hits, striking out 5. Yesterday, the Reds went for the kill, and they got it, winning 9-7. For Cardinal fans, the only bright thing we can take out of this is 25-cent fountain drinks at On the Run today. Actually, this game starts out well. Lance Berkman and Yadier Molina hit back-to-back homers in the 2nd. But once again, Chris Carpenter just didn't have it again. Ramon Hernandez homers in the 3rd, and 2 more runs score in the 4th as Scott Rowland singles to center with Jay Bruce on base. John Jay gets charged with an error on the throw, even though it bounces off of Bruce's leg on his way to 3rd. He'll end up scoring on the error, and Scott Rowland, he ends up at 3rd. Rowland would be the go-ahead run on the next at-bat. He scores on a ground out by Fred Lewis. Brandon Phillips gets on, thanks to a fielding error by Albert Pujols, and scores on a triple by Rowland in the 6th. Phillips would also get a couple RBIs in the 7th, as he doubles with the bases loaded, pretty much ending the day for Carp. Trevor Miller comes in, and with the first pitch, gives up a double to Bruce, scoring a couple more runs. Chris Heisey homers off Mitchell Boggs in the 8th, and it's now 9-2 Reds. The Cardinals would actually come back from this one, but it was way too late. Cincinnati's super phenom pitcher, Aroldis Chapman, comes in the ninth. He gives up walks to Berkman and Molina. He gets Tyler Green to fly out, moving skinny fat Elvis to third base. He gives up a couple more walks to Gerald Laird and Alan Craig, and guess what? It's now 9-3. Nick Bassett comes in from there and gives up a double to Ryan Theriot, scoring a couple more runs. It's now 9-5 Cincinnati. That ends Bassett's day, and Coco Cordero comes in, now with a save opportunity. Instead, he gives up another double at the hands of Nick Punto, scoring a couple more runs. He then hits Albert Pujols in the wrist. Luckily, Albert was okay, and we've got the tying run on base. Then, Matt Holliday grounds into what would have been a double play. Only if Phillips could make a decent throw. Well, he didn't, but it didn't matter. Berkman struck out to end the game, and at the end, some pleasantries were exchanged between Coco and Cardinals pitching coach Dave Duncan. And I don't believe for one second that they were talking about where they were going for dinner afterwards. Looks like some real fireworks could erupt in the next meeting between the two teams. July 4th, Busch Stadium, get your tickets now. But until then, the Cardinals have some games left to play. To sum up this weekend, Cincinnati was ready for the series. The fans were amped up for sure, and for them, this was practically their playoffs and World Series wrapped up in one. And for the Cards, they were completely outplayed. All of their weaknesses were pretty much exposed. End results, they're now out of first place. They're a game and a half behind the much-hated Reds. The bad thing about this? The Reds are a young, brash team that's only going to get better. They're a lot more fundamentally sound than the Cardinals are. If the Redbirds are going to have any chance at all at contending for the postseason, they're going to have to figure things out. Namely, they have to get back to the basic fundamentals and get more disciplined, especially where the fielding, hitting, and base running are all concerned. Otherwise, they'll get passed up by everyone, and the schedule isn't going to get easier. The Phillies are in town tonight for the next two, and with that, they send both Cliff Lee and Roy Oswalt to the mound. From there, the Houston Astros come to town. They're struggling as of late, but you know Bud Norris is going to figure in somewhere in that series. So, my question of the day is this. Is it time to hit the panic button yet? Let me know what you guys think. Send your answers, comments, questions, responses, or anything else in the comment box below. Subscribe on YouTube and follow me on Twitter. Cards play the Phillies this week. Guess who's going to both games? That's right, I'll be there, and I'm sure I'll be sharing part of the experience with you on the next episode. Till then, go Cards.